Let's see something different for today. Let's look at the globe. We already see every single continent, how population is gonna be in the future, what I think about them, and how was in the past and how is in the present. But let's talk about the seventh continent that nobody seems to give them a shot. And it's right here. Look at this, how nice it is. You can see you're already used to it. We've seen all of those continents every day in movies and everything, but now we have something new, I would say. We have Antarctica, which is pretty much covered in ice and snow. You're gonna see here, but they are land here. If you don't know, that's why they call it a continent, because underneath of the snow and ice, you're gonna find land. And they say back in the good old days, a few million years ago, or maybe even closer than that, used to be, look at this, you already see some land here. Let me see if you can some Google images. No, nothing. Now 360, no, nothing. So pretty much cheap then. Oh, we have one here. Let's look at the land here. So we can see we have exposed land in Antarctica. Look at this. That's Antarctica. How nice is that? That is great. But I believe that in the very near future, humans, they're gonna start settle here. Right now we use for the scientists and experiments and everything tries to keep it as pristine as possible, but everybody knows that's not possible on the long term. It doesn't matter if the population growing or declining, the Antarctica is gonna get, let's say, colonized, settled, whatever you want to call it. But Antarctica, they're gonna face some housing market, let's say. So right now you can see, look at it, it looks like it's from other planet. How nice it is. How stupid we are that we have an entire continent that we don't wanna exploit or explore in those situations, because I believe if you have resources, whatever you have them, you have to explore them. There is no point having them and not use them. And for those people that say, oh, we have to pristine the continent, what's the point having a continent on the planet that you cannot even put foot on them? That's stupid. We have to make the best of them and use as much as we can from them. And then, like I say, those people say, especially in Europe right now, they say you have to consume less, you have to protect the planet. You do nothing, just pretty much destroy yourself. I believe you have to consume more. You have more energy per person, so every person should use around, I say, 1 megawatt of power every month, but use that energy to produce technology that can, in short term, not even in a long term, because you can do it even short and medium term, let's say. Short is pretty strong, I would say right now, but in a medium and long term, you can produce clean energy for everyone. And you do not need gas to heat your home or cook your food. You will just use electricity for that, and that, I think, it's something that everybody should have in their household. That's why I say, look at these nice stones here, very interesting. We need to consume more. That's why even in Antarctica here we need to exploit them more. Now they're gonna say, people, you're gonna have to use oil and stuff like that. We need oil because that's the best thing that we have right now. And oil is not just for energy. I think you can find petroleum in cosmetics and also some, I think, some medicine. But cosmetic and medicine, you can put them pretty much in the same category. People do it on pharmaceutical or stuff like that. Now, while I say that, and especially even in Antarctica, they have a lot, I think, the resources. And if they don't, they're gonna discover them, because this is how human works. It doesn't matter. Probably they have a lot of them. And I think with time, by the end of the century, you're gonna start seeing houses. You're gonna start seeing a hotel, because they try to build it. And those people, they say, oh, we should live in like that. What's the point having something that you cannot put food on them, you cannot use them? That's just stupidity, in my opinion. This is the way, as you can say, we should lock down the entire North America and keep them exactly like that, because that's the best thing you can do. No, you have to use everything they have. And I believe in a few, let's say, century, we're gonna move our shift, especially with the lowering the population. We're gonna stay much more together, much more tight. And you're gonna see, especially like I say, if you live in an area that not that many people, pretty much you know everybody, they don't know you. You have a much better understanding of every single one of them. You have a much better relation. But if you live in a big city, you pretty much don't care about anyone, especially those people who actually live in your same building. But In the future, I think in the next centuries, we're gonna look more at how we can colonize the next planet and how we can explore the stars in the universe. Then it's just keep pretty much anything here, because in some point everybody knows this planet is gonna pretty much get destroyed and eaten by a sun. So what's the point not using what you have to pretty much advance your civilization? That it's my opinion. If you keep dragging and say we should use Antarctica only for research, you can have parts from research 100%, but you should start develop Antarctica from the economic point, from actually moving people there. But of course the condition is not actually that welcome to just pretty much move the people there. So probably you're gonna have like hotels first and tourism, and then you're gonna start with once the planet's getting warmer, you're gonna start developing the housing market, let's say cities, or who knows, maybe you're gonna try something entirely new to have an entire continent with not one, let's say they have some buildings there, but not as we have it here in the rest of the world. You can try something very new and very distinctive. Who knows, maybe by in a few centuries, when you're gonna be, let's say, only 100 million people of us, who knows, maybe every single one of us are gonna live here. We have no, and then you're gonna and they're gonna preserve the other continent and say, okay, we should not touch those one. So you see, you can do a lot of stuff here. You can actually stay in Antarctica and then just, hey, I want to visit the old Roman Empire in today Italy, let's say, or stuff like that, and you just arrive there in an hour. For who knows what transportation is not going to have. But we have to use, I believe, even here in the North Pole, we have to use as much as we can and develop as fast as you can for every single one of us to just live better lives and push forward technology. You can stay like, I'm gonna stay in a house and I'm gonna protect the planet and not turn up my heating in a winter and gonna say, look how great I live. No, that's stupid. You have to cool your home in the summer, you have to heat it in the winter, you need to have clean water, you need to have some sort of a system that takes your garbage and recycle whatever they're doing with them, so you can actually improve the life, not just pretty much hiding under the bed and say, look how great I am, I don't pollute, I don't consume, mostly I don't do nothing. So I think, I say, the 7 continent Antarctica that we have to talk about, that we talk about every single one of them, this is the one that population is not collapsing, its population is going to rise. And this is what I believe is going to happen. Probably by the mid-century, you're going to start to see more, especially on the coastline, development for tourists. And by the end of the century, 100% they're going to see some hotels and stuff like that. And also they're going to move parts from the scientific perspective in some area. And then by the next century, they're going to start developing, especially with if the ice starts retreating, and especially inland. And also in the summer, it's going to be much, let's say, we have here, I think, a temperature map. Let me check this real quick. We have the warmer temperature. We can see here in the center is pretty much cold, almost minus 60 degrees Celsius. But here on the side, you can live at minus 10, minus 6. It's much more, let's say, welcoming with the human body. So we can have some development in those areas first. And with time, when all of this is gonna get much warmer, you can actually start developing. But like I say, who knows, like I say, in the future, maybe all the planet is gonna live here on the down. Look at this, we're gonna hide from everyone here, nobody's gonna see us. And every single one of them, you're gonna have, like, who knows, a huge forest in the South America. In the North America, it's gonna have some, because United States is gonna be pretty much everywhere there, every single time of this world there. And here, we're gonna start with, gonna see this the next 20-25 years. Are gonna start with Greenland. They're gonna start developing this one because they have resources and we need them just the way it is. Especially we have, I would say, on the last few years of our growing population, and then we're going with the decline. We're gonna remain in history. Like, look, we probably, it's not gonna reach 10 billion people, but if you reach that, it's not gonna stay that much longer. You're gonna go down real quickly from that. And we need the resource for all of them, and we need to improve the life, not just hiding and say, oh, look, I'm not using any electricity, I'm not using any water. We have to develop technology that every single one of us can use as much as they please. And Antarctica also, it's one territory that should be developed with time, and also they're going to be developed obviously much more differently, because people compare with what we have now. It's say we go in India, you're gonna have all that garbage on the sea, and say you don't want that happen to anywhere, of course, but in here in the Antarctica you can have some changes. But developing, it's coming, and also the population, it's coming to Antarctica.